All right, well, let's have a meeting, it's Drum Point Property Owners Association meeting. Robert's Rules of Order will apply. My remarks, I don't have any remarks really today. I expect this to be a rather short meeting, but let me change the order a little bit. Let's talk to our recreation and playground folks first. That way they don't have to sit through the whole shebang if they don't feel like it. So take it away, please.
Yeah, we were discussing possible,
Wait a minute, before you start, does everybody know who they are?
No.
so, I'm sorry. I'm Crystal Kelly, I'm actually Bonnie and Tony's neighbor.
Jerry.
My name is Alyssa Holiday, and I live over on Lakeview Drive.
All right, now we know.
Yes.
Oh, we were
Should we
discussing
introduce ourselves?
Oh, yeah,
playground.
do you know everybody at the table?
No.
I kind of recognize some faces,
Well,
but
why don't
I
you
know
start
we're
around?
neighbors.
Right.
Yeah, right.
The dogs.
Right, exactly.
I'm Asha Andreas.
Jenna Swartwood, I live on Bay Drive.
Oh, okay.
Jack Andre, I live near Jenna.
Rita Webster, and this is Nisha Hatcher.
Tony Spakauskas, on a lake across the street from Crystal.
Gary Heel, I live on Rain, which is on the other side.
And Jerry Butnick, near Gary.
Here too.
Oh, yeah. On the phone, this funny looking lady with the 3 legs, that's funny. Yeah.
So we were discussing, the playground and if there's a need or a want for it, and obviously with the mothers and everybody that I've spoken with, there has been anyone who thinks that it would be not necessary, they think that it would be a great thing for the community. And then there's possible locations that we were even starting to look at, but, I mean, just the beginning stages, we haven't even dove into, cost and things like that. But there's definitely, I mean, this is a walking community to begin with, so no matter where we put it, I think it's accessible to everybody, and especially the moms. There's a lot of stay-at-home moms in here too, and they would walk there during the day. There's a mom that I have in particular, I mean, there was a discussion about putting something at the big beach, the big Drum Point Beach. I have a mom that actually lives right over there, and she discussed that recently there was probably 10 to 15, boys, middle school, high school boys that have just been hanging out down there. So I mean, that's just kind of a turn off to anybody that kind of wants to go down there with their younger kids. So maybe putting something down there. So I mean, looking at it for a playground wise, I don't know if it would be big enough area at that beach, but thinking about putting something, a wooded pavilion with a picnic table and a grill or 2, and then possibly like, the tennis, golf, or the golf frisbee, whatever, frisbee golf kind of thing, just something recreational to get a few families down there, because honestly, I think this is a sought out after community, or it should be, really, and I have other ideas that I could just go on and on with, but we're just discussing the playground right now, but there's definitely a need for it. I don't think that there's anybody that I've talked to. I mean, there's the people that don't have kids, but I don't know that it would be an issue, other than seeing more people out there walking and greeting each other and saying hey and things like that, getting to know each other that live out there. So I just really don't see any not benefits of it right now, any cons right
You
now.
said that you were looking at other possible locations for a playground. Have you actually looked at them and you have a priority list, or is that still all in the mix?
So Rhea gave me the map of all the Drum Point owned properties, and so I drove around looking at all of them. And I have to admit, although I live over on Lakeview Drive, the ones that I liked the best were actually on the other side of Rowsby Hall. I can show you if you want on the map. So the 5 up there in the little semicircle, like off of Mill Creek,
Mills Creek area.
right above,
Down.
here, down, right there. The 5
Oh,
of the
these
ones.
ones?
Yeah, I mean,
Are you actually gone and looked at those, physically looked at them?
yes, because my concerns with some of the individual lots over here are that, besides the fact that they're all very woodsy, they're all very woody, I don't know what is allowed to be cleared out or taken down. I'm not sure about that, being with like the critical zone and what kind of space could be made. But they're very hilly, and a couple of them have like large like canyony areas, and some of the roads, even with Google Maps and having this map, I was getting like a little bit confused. The houses are closer together. I could see that maybe people would not want those things like right next door to them. That's why I thought that one up there and even that one down there and the Leeson Cove area, the four together, it just seemed to kind of offer,
These.
yes, those. Because the ones that are like along Rousby Hall are really not viable, or even the ones along like Beretta, those are just too busy, I think, as somebody who frequents playgrounds often, you know, I would feel more comfortable being a little, it allows for more parking if people were to drive there, whereas the parking is just not there. So I did go to the beach, and I also looked at the one that you pointed out where it has that easement to Drum Point Lake.
Drop it at the top of Drum Point Lake.
Yeah, that one also seemed a little, it wasn't very flat. From what I could tell, based on what I thought was
The
the
easement
lot,
is not flat.
it's
That's
hard
what
to see,
Gary, I think,
you know.
always said, yeah.
In a way, I can kind of see why houses have never been built on some of those
There's a
because
valley
they
runs right down through
just,
here.
yeah, they just, and so, exactly. So those just didn't seem real viable. I like the beach idea, we talked about that, if somehow we could coordinate it with the Drum Point Club, I'm not sure. I think the beach is a great idea. I've been to playgrounds on the beach, like I was mentioning. My husband's family is from Lorraine, Ohio, and they have a beautiful playground on Lake Erie. But it needs a lot of space, and I'm just not sure that space is there. And again, with the way things are, I'm just not sure you're allowed to like make space, you know? You kind of have to leave everything the way that it is. So those are the spots that I liked best, those over there.
You did notice that there's a big gully right through here.
Well,
Right over this water.
I definitely could kind of tell something was there, but it was really, I mean, I probably circled several times. I was like, I hope nobody like comes and is like, what is this girl doing? Because I'm like sitting there and I'm like getting out. And because some of the roads on here are not actually like on here, you know, like Mims Way down there by Leeson Cove does not, if it exists,
It
it's
does
very, yeah, it's very tiny.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
I should have pointed that out here, sorry.
that's okay, I mean, I figured it out eventually, I'm just like, where am I? And I mean, I have driven around a lot, you know, but obviously given that there are several like adjacent lots, those seem to be nicer, you know, if those were available and flatter, so I thought maybe, you know, clearing that space would be less expensive also.
I have walked this property.
Mm-hmm,
There is a very steep gully right off the road.
mm-hmm,
However, on the other side of the gully, you'd have to build a bridge or something across.
oh,
I
really,
mean, it's
okay.
really steep.
Okay, I could not see
But
that.
on the other side, there probably is room. I'm sure these folks would love to have a playground in the backyard.
Not really.
He said the same.
Right here.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
This is all flat here
You
though.
know what,
All of this is
if
flat.
I may offer, I don't know if it's a suggestion, because I don't know if it can be done. A lot of the properties that are in here,
Where you see our blue ones tag, and
Mhm.
on your map there it's yellow, there are a lot of properties, they're not all marked by any means now, that are owned by a land trust here in Drum Point.
Yeah, they're white. You can see them on this.
Oh,
map.
okay. I
does,
see
do the
those.
restrictions,
Oh,
first question, do the restrictions on that property, would that prohibit something like a playground? I know they cannot be
I don't
developed,
know.
but
I
would a
don't think so.
playground be okay? And do you think the land trust would agree to that?
Maybe.
Kind of,
We could-
because
oh,
There
yeah.
must be a lot of property in here that we're
Yeah.
not realizing.
Yeah,
is
this,
available.
none of this part.
And it's reasonably
This
flat.
is flat. There is a gully that runs sort of like through here. So these properties have a gully in them.
Is this critical area? I know critical area dips in
Yeah, I'm sure it
off and
is.
on.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I don't think it's all critical area though, is it?
Well, that's.
1,000 feet,
Goes
isn't it?
all the way up to here.
Oh,
It's tidal water right
That's
there.
true.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you got 1,000 feet from there, so.
But that doesn't mean we
No,
can't,
no, I know, I just,
yeah, we'd have to get a
Easier.
variance.
Well, yeah, you know, let's see, I
And,
think.
and we would probably have to develop a road in and put some parking or something. Well, the road exists.
the right of way exists.
Yeah, the right of way exists from all three ways into that area.
And right off.
The road doesn't
Beretta,
exist, but the right of way does.
Like right off of Beretta, that, I think it's the white, on the left-hand side, it's the white, split foyer. that wasn't there when we were growing up. And it was like a field and the kids would
Right
go
over
there
here,
and
you
play.
mean? Yes,
Yeah,
it was.
yeah,
Yeah.
right, I forget where I'm at right now. And the kids would play, you know, go over there, they would play soccer. I mean,
Yes.
like, that's something that we can like implement into
Oh, it
the
would be
playground.
on the
a
other
big enough
side,
area.
but we don't know
Right.
this lot right here, which
Right.
we did.
Right.
Yeah.
But I
They
think,
play
I mean, that's kind of too
football
close, to that's a bad area, but like where the playground is, like some sort, and that was not a huge area that, to begin with, was a field long ago, so if like something like that within the playground too, to where the kids could still go down there and pass the football,
Right.
or just practice within their own neighborhood versus getting in the car and fire a big
Yeah,
one.
Exactly right.
the other thing we have to consider though as well, figure out which locations are sort of rank order, them 1, 2, 3, 4 or
Yeah.
something. Then we're gonna have to look at how much would it really cost
Did
to
you look at this?
clear some
Yeah.
of these things, if we can clear them, do we need variances, like, do we have to really put in a road to get to it, all of that? Suddenly it's starting to snowball.
It's
a little
big,
bit
it's a
in terms of
nice corner
cost.
lot, and
Okay.
there's lots of room to park all along here,
Where's that?
right here.
The, station,
This is the
South
one I had
Station.
my eye on.
Okay.
It's,
Okay,
it's pretty
Okay.
big lot.
excellent.
Well,
Where is it?
Previous boards
Near like this.
shot it.
Right.
Nobody wanted it.
No, but anyway, that's, you know, that's the sort of thing we're looking for, and the idea of, okay, if you don't wanna develop the beach as the playground, what can we do to make the beach a little more appealing to people?
Mhm.
I mean, you know, not everybody has waterfront property, and then people have children, they wanna go to the water, so
Right,
how do we make it more appealing?
right.
You know, that's sort of the stuff we're looking at, and then the
Okay.
games and things that can be developed on the land, that's obviously the next step, but step number one is let's
Make the beach more appealing.
figure out where we can do a playground, what can we do to make the beach more appealing, and, you know, and
And I've got a question. What about this report of teenagers on the beach that shouldn't be there? Or maybe they should, maybe they're residents, I don't know.
Well, no,
It would be the
if it's-
same group that was on Tony's retaining wall.
Yeah,
that
well,
one
you
day.
know,
I mean, it kind
That
of,
group, oh, that's.
right, it kind of sounds like it might be the same, I mean.
yeah, you know,
same-
the truth is though, if it's 10 or 15 teenagers and they're sitting on the beach and they're not destroying
Right.
anything, it's a public
Right.
beach.
The only thing is, it's just kind of like, well, look, right, to the kids, that's,
Well-
well,
But you know, wherever we put a playground,
right. Oh, there's gonna be,
there,
oh, yeah.
the teenagers will arrive,
Right.
and there's nothing you can do
Right.
about that, you know, it's, we'll
But
just
the
have
kids,
to.
I feel like the families will also still be there.
Oh, yeah, that's,
So there's not gonna be like, oh, well, the families aren't coming here to the beach because they're never here, there's nothing for them to do, so it's all ours,
well,
you know?
yeah, well,
you
that's
just
it,
never
right
know.
now, that's
Right.
absolutely correct, you know,
Right.
it's, the families aren't there,
You
so
just
it's,
need-
hey,
right.
it's teenager heaven.
Yes, we just
Right.
built the ideas.
But-
Yeah.
All right. Any questions, any?
but let me just say, I'm glad you're working on it.
Oh, yeah, hey,
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope that we can move forward in that direction. We go to playgrounds all the time, so it would be great to have something nearby and local, and like Crystal said, I don't know, to attract more people. There are a lot of kids on our street, and we've had several people, especially around Halloween, say, wow, you know, like, there's like 10 or 12, like, kids under 5, you know, and they're like, what a difference, and
Yeah, I've heard that too. A lot of families have told me that they would really love to have a playground that they could walk to or
yeah, but
that's close by.
Community is changing.
it's a good thing to do.
Family community. I think I mentioned to you the other day, Alyssa, that, or I think you asked about the budget.
yes.
And that will be starting to be worked on
Yeah.
in February or so. It needs to be
Yeah.
presented.
Yeah, for this year, there's nothing budgeted.
Right.
nothing at
Right.
all.
So-
Right, it would be next
Yeah.
fiscal
It
year.
would- So, but
yes.
if maybe you could get some numbers by February, March, something like that.
Some idea.
Ballpark.
Yeah.
We're looking for finance committee members that
Oh, yes.
look at things.
I personally know really well an excavating company that I can use.
Well, I don't know how formal, you know, what a playground we need,
What
that we need
excavating company is
excavation,
that?
whoa.
Calvin Gilroy.
Oh, we've used Calvin.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Anything else, nothing else? If you guys want to stay, you're welcome to stay. If you decide you've had enough for one evening, you can leave, or you can stay and watch it in action.
Can I say something, idea? The perfect location for a playground that I would think of is down at our beach, but going in at that section of Drum Point Club, which is right next to the beach. And if we could work out a cooperative arrangement with the club, people walk in there anyway, it's a transparent thing. And it rises beyond the beach, you go onto that little wooded area. And if you cleared that, it would be a benefit to the Drum Point Club. It would also be a great place for a playground because you're right on the water and the beach. It's right behind you, you can point out where it is, right next to the red thing. No,
Down here.
no, down there.
No, it's over there.
Yeah,
Right here.
right there. That property is in contention because it belongs to the club, but the club can't really use it because of the river. And we can't use it, the DPPOA can't use it because it doesn't belong to us. And yet there's a fence that doesn't work. And the community uses that peninsula anyway because the kids always go down there. And, you know, it's really an underutilized place. And
I think it's a great idea. I have no objection to taking it up with the Drum Point Club and see if we can work out something that would be mutually beneficial. But I think we need a little more substance before we did it. But I think, they may have some technical objection or,
I think the objection would be having to cut down trees.
Well, that's the other thing. There will be trees that would have to be cut down, and that's a critical area. The county may have no
I bet you could get a variance to do that, but the club is one of their, almost one of their tenets is to have those trees.
Nature preserve.
Well, we could talk about, okay, we cut a few down and we plant a few.
We'll mitigate.
Yeah, whatever,
I mean, what a location for a
From the parking lot
playground.
of the club.
Yeah, agreed.
Huh?
And you don't need a lot of
We can
people.
pave it. Yeah, we can cut down some trees and then mitigate it, we'll pave it.
No.
Let me explain what mitigate here.
That's not what that means.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought,
There's a song about that though, isn't
that's
there?
right, put up a parking lot.
Oh, that's right.
But the drum club is not using it.
Well, yeah, no, but
At all.
again,
At all.
if that becomes our number one choice or whatever, I'm sure that Ralph is willing to take it up with his board and see if they're willing to go along with it.
See
It could
if
be a
there's
joint
some
community
arrangement.
effort. Yeah, see if
A
we
little
can.
money might help.
Yeah. No, I'll just bring up the fact that they recently signed up for another 15-year with the, what is it, National
ETA or
whatever thing.
Preservation.
And therefore that, there's a lot of things they can't do for 15 years.
Oh, my. Well,
Well, let's look.
well,
at
we find out.
That-
We'll
that's
find
one.
out.
Unless they pay a hefty fine.
for the whole thing, but this would be a portion.
Yeah, well, I mean, I
Portion of it.
but, I mean, I agree, Ralph really wants to go hand in hand with the association and the club to, everybody in the same direction and going in the same mood. So I'm sure, can bring it up to the board, the Drum Point Club board. And then I'm sure it's going to have to be up to a membership vote.
It may actually encourage membership in the Drum Point Club.
I've had a number of people say to me, well, what's at the club? And I tell them, there's not even a playground, they'll say. Well, no. They're looking for something that they can use with their kids and so on, so.
Well, I'll be honest with you, when they hear what the fee is,
For liability insurance?
the fee to be a member,
Oh, well, yeah.
they're not gonna pay it.
Right.
And I can completely understand, you're young, you've got the house, you've got kids to raise, you've got clothes, stuff, to spend that money,
Soccer cleats.
That's right.
yeah, soccer cleats, basketball, choir practice, dance
Practice
recitals.
costs money?
All the singing lessons.
Just take Sophia from choir.
Yeah.
The other
And piano.
advantage to the club is that you have a lot less objection from adjacent property owners. I don't want that beside my house.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, again, let's look into it, let's see, if that's the avenue we'd like to go down, we'll explore it, we'll see what happens. I mean, I can see that there's a lot of problems with it, or potential problems, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what can be overcome and what can't. And if we get lucky, we can do it. All right, that sounds good. Anything else? No? Well, ladies, if you want to stay, please stay.
When is next month's meeting?
That'll get settled at the end.
Okay.
Should be
Yeah,
the
just let
first
us-
Tuesday of
It should be the
January.
first Tuesday of
And
January.
I'm sure we'll have more concrete stuff to go off of and
Yes,
have
please.
made some phone calls and just figured more stuff out and making progress for sure, for possibly close to spring. So, I mean, I don't know how much progress you can make. But yeah, we're ready and willing to, go forward with this for sure, for sure.
It'll be the second if we.
Yeah, so see you
The
guys
seal
next month.
might have to
Yeah.
meet you in a second.
Bye, it was nice meeting
Yeah,
everybody.
thank you.
Just let us know, I'll be here next
Thank
month
you for
sure.
coming by. We'll let you
Bye,
know.
thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway, all right. Public comment, I guess that was sort of public comment. We'll get to Peter when we get to safety, right?
Okay.
With approval of minutes, the November minutes?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved. Office update.
Okay, I delivered the documents with proof of who you people are, you officers who have signatory power. They needed driver's license, passport, or credit card as proof of identification, that you're actually who you say you are. I delivered that to Samantha at the Community Bank of Chesapeake the other day, and she's going to email documentation to me, which I haven't yet received, but I'll get your signature on those documents. And then once I get that, she wants to come and actually just meet with you and I again, Jack, to set up the merchant services, which is the credit card, ability to take credit card payments. So that's in the works. I received the invoice for paving from Great Mills Trading Post, $134,000 and some odd cents. I sent that to the county to request authorization for transferring the money to our account. I actually asked for just $94,000, and out of the $40,000 coming from covenant fees, because we had budgeted money in our covenant fees. So that's what Gary and Jack and Tony kind of agreed upon. And then the newsletter went out, as you should have received yours by now. I mailed 419, that's steadily dwindling, which is good, and ones that I email are increasing. They emailed 859. That's it.
Why don't we forego roundtable and just go right into committee reports, because everybody's going to talk anyway. And when we're done, if somebody gets missed, they can speak up. Okay? Well, there's no paving report, so Jeff's not here. Gary, how about operations and roads?
So it's not a bridge, it's a, no, it is a bridge.
It is a bridge now.
Oh, it is
Is
a
it?
bridge now?
It's a walkway.
It's a walkway. Yeah, it's a whole thing. If it's a bridge, it's.
But they issued it way before we ever got that far.
Yeah. Anyway, we got the permit. I don't know, did I say that last month?
Yeah, and you ordered the wood.
I ordered the wood. The wood is here, but I've been gone, and Chris is reluctant to do it without me to show him what I had in mind. And I'm busy all the rest of this week, so it's gonna be next week at least before we get started. But we have to, basically, the boards are like this thick and this wide and 8 feet long, and it takes 2 strong people just to pick one up. They're serious boards. So they have to be cut in half because they need to be in 4-foot lengths. The old gets ripped out, the new gets put down with lag bolts into the existing posts that are there. It's going to be probably a week's worth of work to get it all done. And we still have to buy all of the hardware, the lag bolts and washers and stuff like that. But we have a plan to do it, we just haven't started executing.
Questions?
I think there's anything else going on with? No, that's it.
That's it, so, for a second.
Jack, finance?
I haven't had a chance to review the papers just we got tonight. And we was gonna talk about our banking arrangements. And I think,
That's about
I
it.
just heard tonight that we're getting, it's timely
It is timely.
because we got yet another charge for this was it the transfer that you just mentioned?
No, it's not. It's the state highway user revenue. Last
Okay.
month there was $115, I think, fee, and this month another $105, something like that. And phone calls. Yeah,
And they're
a
not being
bank
very
fee.
cooperative
A
about
bank.
running it
Which
down.
bank is
It's a
charging?
PNC. And we've never had these fees, any fees really, that I can think of,
Maybe
on
they
the
got
state
word that
highway
we're
user
moving.
revenue. They
It's a
don't know
lot,
yet.
yeah.
So I did make some phone calls, as mentioned before the meeting. I did make some phone calls, called the business line that Ryan had told me to call. Ryan is the rep here at the bank. And he had suggested I could call that number and perhaps negotiate half of it away. So I didn't right away, thinking, well, we're going to make a change anyway. And then we got another fee, so I went ahead and called and was transferred to a different phone number and was told, no, it's really not, that's not the right place to call, and they suggested I speak with our local rep. So I just gave up. And since we're changing, I would have pursued it had we not made this decision to change. But those are some hefty fees.
And we're over budget by $400.
Yeah. Well,
It's
no,
double,
they are.
almost double
Mhm.
what we budgeted.
Yeah, so, and he had come in a couple of months ago before we decided to make this change to the community bank. Ryan did come in and talk with Jack and me, and he changed our other more major account to a different type of account. So that reduced the fees that we were paying. Now, some of these fees that you see are taking credit cards, which we charge a convenience fee for that, so that somewhat offsets it. But in any case, I think it's a good move.
Well, we're moving, so
We're
that's a
moving.
good idea.
Yeah.
All right,
So.
anything else?
I have a question. The miscellaneous admin, we're over the budget by $700, $750.
That might
How
be
did
something
we-
I
how did we do
misposted. It might be something I've misposted. I'd have to look and see, I mean, I don't know. You want me to go check it right now? Just take a minute?
No, I'm bringing it to your attention.
Okay, I'll check it. I may have
Budget of
misposted
500, we
something.
spent 1250.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I think there is a reason for that. What is it?
invasive species, I thought we put in more than $500 for invasive species. I thought it was 3,000.
Yeah, something like 3,000, wasn't it?
No, not once you guys investigated it and it wasn't nearly as expensive.
But it-
But
Oh,
the,
now I forget the number.
well, it was supposed to have been against last year's budget.
Yeah,
And when I
yeah.
spoke with somebody that told Bertha, I can't think of her name right now, Sherry Kurt, said, yes, I could do that. Pay for it in this fiscal year and post it to last fiscal year. Well, when the bill came and I paid it, I spoke with Mark Perry, who does our audit, and he said, you can't do that.
We signed the contract, I still don't
I know we
understand it.
signed the contract,
contract
yeah.
last year, we committed the funds last year, it's last year's budget. The fact that we pay it this year is nothing to do
I can
with
call
it.
Sherry
Yeah,
again.
But
Maybe she has a
yeah,
different way of doing it with
Why do we do
QuickBooks.
accrual accounting?
If you can't do
Yeah.
that.
What do you mean you can't do that?
I said,
No,
if we
you
can't, like
do
you.
that, yeah, you know, it's.
You should be able to do that,
I
that's
will
why,
call Sherry. Sherry is the QuickBooks expert, and Mark is not.
that's why we do accrual
An
accounting.
So let me call Sherry tomorrow. I'll make a note
However,
to do that.
It is
I
awfully
just
late in
kinda
the
left
year,
I know.
and it could be that,
No, but we paid that a long time ago.
We didn't pay it, we weren't billed for it until August or September. We signed the contract in whenever, May or June,
yeah.
but we didn't get the bill for it
Well,
until
they didn't,
September.
because they didn't
It wasn't
report
done
until
until
the
August.
late August, beginning of September.
maybe I'm missing something. That was all in the same year? They did the work, we got billed in the same year.
Different fiscal year.
Different fiscal year, yeah. See, we signed it
July.
There
on.
may be, yes, 6 months, we're at month 5, 6
Right,
fiscal year.
Right.
There may be some law about how far you can accrue, like 90 days or something.
No, I don't think that's true.
But that's why
I will call
we
Sherry
changed,
tomorrow.
it's exactly why we changed to accrual accounting, so we could do that.
If there's some little rule that we're not aware of, that's different, but anyway, I thought that was all totally legal. Anything else? Bonnie, you want to address the environmental committee?
The only thing I wanted to say is that, first of all, I wanted to talk more to Ralph about what his arrangement with Jeremy Testa is regarding the subaquatic grasses. And I asked Rhea, and she very rapidly, I don't know how she did it, this magic, gave me a list of all of the waterways that Drum Point is on. So we have quite a few other places we might offer him if there's some interest. And the second thing I wanted to bring up is that the article in the newsletter about the trying to assess what kind of litter problem we might have in the neighborhood. I don't know that we've received any feedback, but it's early days now, so I'm very interested to see if anybody responds. So are you still having that problem on your street?
No, not as much.
Okay. Do you know what might have been accounted for it?
No, I don't know if more people are just picking up or what, but, I don't see as much trash. I don't know, also, I think when I first moved here, that was one of the things that I noticed right away, and now I don't notice it as much, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's not good either, but, yeah, I think, I do see people go out and they pick up, they collect trash too, so.
Well, it's early days, so maybe we'll get some response from other parts of the subdivision, but I was just curious whether you had continued to see that problem, and if it was like a particular family or some problem like that you could account for.
No, I think it's more like people driving by and throwing their McDonald's bag or their liquor bottle or whatever it is, like out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we'll stay tuned. That's all I've got.
All right, any questions? Thank you. Peter, Safety Committee.
No, I don't have anything to say. Rhea can report on the cameras if there's anything going on, but.
Nothing has happened. I mean, we've looked at the chips once or twice. I think one of them didn't appear to be working, the newest one, but it is working. So, no, nothing to report. The only thing I guess I could say is that we've discovered in calling back and forth that the solar panels are chargeable inside, and that's what we're supposed to do with them. We're supposed to charge them fully and then put them out, and then the solar charging will continue to take place, but rather than, the sun isn't going to bring it up to a full charge. You bring it up to a full charge and the sun will keep it charged. So that's going to help us a great deal with regard to battery usage.
Do suck up batteries.
Yes, so hopefully they're
Is
going
Chris doing that?
Yes,
Is he
yes.
bringing them in now?
It's a USB charge thing.
Yeah, I plug it right into the computer. Who
Good,
knew?
good.
One of the tech guys at what is it? Not Bucknell, that's a university. What's the, Bushnell.
That's a whiskey.
Bucknell?
No, Bushnell.
Bushnell.
That's
It
Bush
is.
Mill.
Oh, well, you had a couple, it's all the same.
Did you bring us in? Right.
Were these those
That's-
cameras you put on the side of the road to catch people going into the mud?
We did one, yeah. Yeah, the same cameras.
They live at the beach, must have.
But that didn't find anyone?
Actually, I don't think he's checked that one yet because it really just got put out there. He checks them once a month.
Hasn't been anybody
Rotates them.
over in there for a while.
He also put not delineators, what are they called, those posts along Riverview. Jeff,
For snowplows?
well, not really, to keep people out of the right of way. Jeff McDonald, our facilities guy, or what have you, brought them into me. There were 6 of them. They're pretty tall, they're red and reflective, and they were left over from, I think, a project that he was taking care of, Dell Road. And he said, they're just gonna be thrown away, and so if you guys can use them, and he knows we can. So yeah, Chris put those out in the right of way.
Which reminds me,
We'll see.
it's time to put the snow,
Oh,
the
posts?
red things out.
Already?
Well, it's, in fact, you're not gonna like this. That's right, it's supposed to snow here any day now.
Yeah, well, just a little bit,
Well-
just a little bit, rain or snow.
We usually don't get it
Friday
until
night,
January.
Saturday.
Love snow.
The only other thing on safety, the radio communications is continually being evolved up at Prince Frederick, their Emergency Operations Center. They put in, I think, 7 or 8 new antennas, and they're transmitting their repeaters around. What we want to do here is, because the EOC is in the digital mode rather than voice, they communicate on the internet and among themselves by email. To link into that, we have to buy about $250 worth of equipment for this outpost. And I heard you're running a little low on admin budgets, but that will be something I might ask the board to approve.
I think it's in your budget, you haven't spent it.
We haven't spent anything this year as far as I know, but it's going to require what they call a TNC, which is an interface between the transmitter and the computer. Or I can buy a radio that already has the TNC built in. They cost, try to find a used one, but I may have to spend about $220
And
for that.
look at the overall,
You haven't spent
we're
any
not
of your
even
budget.
close. This is what was budgeted for that category, and this is how much we spent.
Peter, you have some money.
Okay, well, I don't want to, sometimes it's used as a slush fund.
Well, no, but there's at least
$500 again.
$500, there's no problem.
Use that word.
We don't have slush funds.
Slush.
Okay.
It hasn't snowed yet.
No, no
Any
slush.
slush.
He didn't mean it, no slush.
Okay.
No slush.
Emergency center.
Kevin.
That's where.
Delete that.
Yeah.
Delete that from the tape.
Okay, I see it.
Break that one. But
So
anyway,
this is how much we spent.
they're asking
This
me,
was
How
the
much we
budget.
have.
and
Okay.
tomorrow night, there's gonna be an exercise for this, and we're not gonna be able to participate because we're not digital yet. We, at another hand, we were over here last week, working on what the requirements are to bring us up to speed. Dave Hardy, who lives on Rio Grande right here. And we were trying to see what we can do, and the best thing, I got the advice, is to buy probably a better radio that has TNC built in, and I think I get one for around $230.
Sounds like a bargain.
But I think it's good for us, it's good for us to be plugged into the EOC, and it keeps up our credibility.
Good.
Can I add something to finance? You can
Oh,
speak,
finance?
sir.
Yeah.
Gary asked about being over in miscellaneous admin. I believe, I will double check it, but I believe that's the money we spent to pay for the STD mailing. Remember the county charged us finally for that? That was
That would be
around,
right.
I don't
Sounds
know,
right.
$1,100?
That's right, yeah.
I don't remember exactly, but it was
It was
a
a
fair
chunk,
amount. That's
chunk.
what it is. I'll double check it, but I'm quite sure.
That's the first time, yeah.
It's the first
Yeah.
time,
But
although
that's
they
only
have.
half the
that-
cost, right? Or
No,
is it a
that's the
third?
whole cost.
Oh.
Oh, not for the electric, no, no.
Oh.
For mailing all the announcements for the special tax district hearing, all of that, the postage,
They've never charged us
paper,
before.
the admin time it took for them to fold all that.
Okay.
I think it was 11, it could have been just under 1,000, but it was a fair chunk.
It was a chunk of change,
Yeah.
but they'd never charged us before,
Uh,
and we're in our 5th or 6th tax.
Fifth or sixth STD, yeah,
All of a sudden, they decided that.
right.
They also need money.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, that's true.
Anything else on what's come before? Nothing? Welcoming committee, Rhea.
Yes. I did a coupon, another coupon, this time for Solomon's Florist, which I gave to Cindy, and she took it to, or is going to be taking it up to the owner there for approval, and she'll let me know. And then Cindy also talked with one of the real estate agents, Laura Zerl from Century 21, who said that she would provide information, I guess going back to August. She has contact information for all, of course, her clients, and anybody that purchased here in Drum Point in the last X number of months, she'll give us that contact info, which is a good thing. I mentioned last month that I had sent out the initial letter, I think 6 or 7 of them. We've had no response. The initial letter is to new owners to say, you know, here's one page, a little bit about Drum Point, here's a map. Please come in and get your parking pass for the beach, thinking that will entice them to come in. And we'd like to have you, you know, let us know a convenient time when somebody could come from the welcoming committee. We have a small gift. Nobody has responded to my letter.
how are we
But,
doing
no,
on
no,
distributing?
but it could be the season too.
It could be,
Yeah, but,
it could be.
but I guess that's the question that
Cindy
I'm
has
getting
delivered
to.
2
And,
buckets.
and no more?
No
That
more.
Nobody else has come back and told us?
No, she's taken a 3rd one. What I kind of did was to divide my list of new owners into chunks, sort of by month, to get the right number without overdoing it and so on. And I sent out the initial 6 letters. Cindy delivered a bucket to a couple that they'd come in a little earlier than that, but they were just so friendly and nice.
Oh, that's
So
the
she-
Massachusetts.
Yes, exactly. And she's going to actually help at some point put together more buckets. Cindy then also delivered to a neighbor somewhere
Oh, yeah, right next.
who's on my initial list. So that one got delivered. And then there's a gentleman that bought on Marine Drive,
Larry Gibbs' old house.
Larry Gibbs' old house. And because I hadn't had any response, and apparently you guys have met this new gentleman, Keith, somebody, Keith. Cindy thought she should,
My
you
name.
know, can I go ahead and deliver one? So, yes. I think I still have 5 sitting back here. So then the question becomes, I thought by now I would be sending out my next group of letters. And it would be like this ongoing movement of buckets.
Well,
Do I send out letters?
Yeah, I would say, look, let's stop worrying about sequence or we'll be here forever.
Well-
Let's just send out the
Okay.
letters and deliver them and deliver as people respond.
Well, okay, I guess my
I-
concern was that we wouldn't, like, what if suddenly I get this great rush
Well,
of
then
12 people and I've only got 6 buckets? Are you really available in it?
Yeah,
Are you
we
really
can help
flexible?
out,
Yeah,
definitely.
okay.
And some people might have to wait a few weeks, a
Yeah,
week or
okay.
2. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
but, you know,
I will send out the next
trying to
one.
wait to maintain a sequence,
Yeah.
I don't think that's
I know.
obviously not working.
And then Cindy wondered how long is too long? You know, in 6 months, do they still get their welcome bucket? I mean, not trying to
Oh,
be
well, yeah.
petty about it,
Yeah,
but the
no, I
point of
know.
the bucket is, you're
Yeah.
new to the community, you need to know what's around you and so on.
But
You know,
let's
not
burn-
trying to chip them out of
Yeah,
it.
let's
but
let's
just-
burn that bridge when we get to it.
Okay.
I mean, you know,
Okay,
discussing that in theory.
You can play that by ear.
All right.
And if it turns out that you've gotten rid of all your buckets and someone from 6 months ago comes in, you just go, I'm really sorry,
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna
yeah,
play
yeah,
it
it's
anymore.
we don't
too
have
late.
any more. On the other hand, if you've still got 7 in the back and they
Hey,
show up, it's
sure,
like, well, here you
here.
go.
okay,
Yeah, I think you can play it
all
by
right,
ear.
I'll send out the
Oh,
next.
and the other thing, I mentioned it to Cindy, but the new owners of what used to be KB Deer are also interested in getting something into the bucket to get people
Oh,
who have
good,
boats
good,
and
good,
don't have
good.
docks to
Okay,
get them there.
all right, great.
So that'll.
They have a new name?
Mill Creek Marine,
Marina.
is it Marina or Marine?
Mill Creek Marina, that's a good name.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's,
It is a marina.
It
Yeah,
is, and it's on Mill Creek.
somehow that seems self-definitional, no?
Definitional.
Yeah.
That's a good word, I like
Don't
that.
use big words.
It's a good word.
I don't know, is that a word? Is that a word?
It is.
I'm sure it is.
It
You
is.
just,
I just made it up.
Definitional.
It is now.
Anything
And
else?
I know the Drum Point Club is still working on their thing, and
Right,
They-
That's hard one to figure out, though.
yeah, trying to figure out, but what I thought was really cute is that what they want to do is they'll just have like a little, like index card with whatever it is, and then put in a plastic shovel. you
How
know,
cute.
To mark it, so
Right.
that it, you know, kind of
That's-
like stands out.
That would be
But
good.
But, yeah.
I like that.
All right,
we'll see-
whatever works.
See what happens. But I know that we've got new people are moving in down at, on Bay Drive.
I just did transfers today,
And
so.
then I know someone else moved in on River Terrace.
Yes. Yeah. It's slowed down quite a bit from over the summer.
This time of year, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys
Check.
ask for the quick claim, get a bucket? Is he on the list?
He's on the list.
He managed to contact us for the quitclaim, but not for the bucket.
I'd have to look to see.
They don't look
If he's one of
They
the.
don't realize how
I don't think
wonderful
they
these
do.
buckets
Yeah.
are.
I know.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, I know, they'd be dying to
They're like
go.
these
A
big-
couple pieces of furniture in the house,
Okay,
and then
So they're not
they're
really-
weekenders.
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe they're minimalists, you know.
That's true.
You
Quakers or something.
know, I'm a minimalist.
Right.
My wife is a minimalist. Okay, anything else in committee reports? No, and as we didn't cover everybody on roundtable, does anybody else have anything want to add?
I have
subtract,
a question
alter,
back to
divide?
the roads committee. I remember a few months ago, we had asked to have like a 5-year plan drawn up for the roads. Is that still in work or? did
Yes,
it drop?
yes.
Jeff is,
Okay.
Jeff is working on it.
Yeah, 'cause that would be useful.
He had to
We still
redo
want
it.
it to drop. And then,
For somehow, me, maybe, lost all the work he did. And he had to start all over.
okay.
computer error, couldn't have been user error.
Well, it was hard copy, so
Oh,
I thought I had it, I don't. So, he had to start it.
Still going, okay.
anything else? No, all right, old business, we've already covered the playground stuff. Any other old business that we left off the agenda that anyone wants to bring up? Good, then we're in the new business. Is there any new business? The response is overwhelming. All right, I guess we have to schedule the next meeting. I will not be here for the next meeting, so I will not express much opinion. But I guess the first Tuesday is January 2nd, and I don't think people want to come to a meeting after New Year's Day. So, although Rita just sort of shrugged like, well, what's the difference?
I don't have a life, so.
And now if it was New Year's Day, that would be different.
Oh.
The day after New Year's Day, I don't know.
Well,
Covered by
That's
then,
kind of
won't
a gray
it?
area.
no, I'm not gonna be here. I'm gonna be down there in Central America with, you know, cold beer, hot sun, good food. What can
Don't
I
rub
tell
it
you?
in.
What can I tell you?
I will be here for the 2nd and the 9th, so I can.
Well, folks, what,
But if nobody shows up, that's kind of good.
Either the 2nd or the 9th works for me too.
all right, well, somebody express an opinion,
2nd.
a desire. We have a second.
Keep it where it normally goes.
Anybody against the second?
Not right now.
Don't- So do we have a consensus on the second?
That's a great answer.
I think
It's
Going
fine,
once?
I'll be here. so
Going once,
it's fine.
going twice, sold for the second.
Yeah, if we don't have a meeting, it won't be a big deal.
All right, that's it. And public comment, again, you get another chance for 2 minutes.
Great meeting, good meeting.
Hey, Peter.
There's no policeman here.
No, but, you know, it's a
The
lot of
only thing
laughter.
you're missing is the wine. I
You know,
mean,
a
I
lot of
don't know what's
fun.
gotten into you
Yeah,
guys.
well, yeah, we could bring some of
I
that,
mean,
you know.
yeah, really.
That's what's in the bucket.
Yeah, we do try to,
We do
there is a
have
bottle of
some.
wine in the bucket.
That's not what I was looking
Bring all
for.
You know, we do try to keep it informal.
Asha, you're kind of new, you should have a bucket.
Not that new, I feel like I would be crossing the line there. I think the buckets are really nice.
Yeah, she would be crossing the line, but she'll take it anyway.
Just
All right, guys, look, I'm not gonna be here next time, so Happy New Year.
But I'll see you on
And,
Saturday.
and let's not forget, the 12th is Hanukkah.
Saturday.
The 12th is Hanukkah, let's.
And the 9th is the general meeting this Saturday.
That's right, and then Kwanzaa is the 26th.
Sixth. I just wanted that.
Let's celebrate every party you can, guys, don't miss one. We're not getting younger.
Here,
So you will be seeing us again on Saturday.
On Saturday, yes, I'll be here for the Saturday meeting,
Is
yes.
there anything
How does that work
expected
out?
at the
There's a general
membership
meeting on
meeting?
Saturday, and
Uh,
then after.
We're going to announce the nominating committee.
Yeah, that's right, we're gonna, is there one?
No.
Ah, we're gonna announce the ghosts. Hey, look, I tried to get people, I don't know if you guys read the newsletter, but I tried to get people to join the nominating committee and
4
the room.
o'clock.
Okay, so it's
I
Tuesday,
sent out an email to the community. It's on the website.
Yeah, the club will have their general
Move to
meeting,
adjourn.
and then a dinner.
Okay,
Second?
all right,
Done, we are adjourned.
okay.